Okay, guys, time for a new unit, Year 10 Statistics, and we're going to start with collecting and using data. So to help you out with that, let's do some terminology. The first term you need to know is survey. Now, this is just a set of questions that you could write to collect data. And when you're writing those questions, you need to carefully design the questions. So number one, they're not biased, so that a person could answer it in more than one way, for example. And also you want to collect responses that are easy to manipulate the data for. So an example is, there's 5-point questions which go from strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. So it could work on that sort of a scale, or highly likely, highly unlikely, however you choose to write it. Second piece of terminology is population. Now, this is a group that have something in common, and it's usually, the group you're targeting. It doesn't have to be human. It could be, how many brown chickens are in a chicken coop, for example. Now, sometimes we want to survey an entire population. A great example of that is census night, which occurs every, I think it's 4 years, and everyone in Australia sits down and fills out these sets of questions, which gives the government lots of information about the population and what we need, and so on and so forth. That's not always possible. That's actually kind of expensive and very time-consuming, which is why we only do it every few years. Often, statisticians prefer to work with a sample group. And this is a smaller group that is designed to represent the population that you want to collect the information about. The trick with that one is you need to make sure that you come up with some sort of unbiased, totally random way of selecting individuals from the population, so that you don't accidentally create a data set that isn't a good representation of your population. And finally, what you collect from doing your survey on your population or your sample of a population is data. So it's a bunch of facts or statistics collected for analysis or for reference. So, for example, at the moment, Premier Andrews and his people who help him out are referring to a lot of statistics that they've been collecting about a population in reference to COVID and who's getting tested and how many are sick and all that sort of stuff to help them make decisions to keep us in lockdown. Not that I'm salty about that. All right, so data comes in a few different forms. So we're going to break that down. The two major forms are numerical and categorical. Okay, so numerical data, it's when all the data points are numbers, whether it be with decimals or whole numbers. And categorical is when data points can be grouped. Now, these can be further broken down again. So numerical data can be broken down into either discrete or continuous. Discrete is when we count, and it's generally in whole numbers. So, for example, how many siblings are in our household? How many cars are in the car park? You don't have half a car rolling up. It's a whole car or not a car at all. Continuous, we get these data points generally by measurement. Now, when we're measuring something, you might find that it comes up to be 23.3 centimeters long or tall or whatever. So the data points don't have to be whole numbers when you're dealing with continuous data. But when you're measuring things, it can be length, height, weight, time. I've already said weight, but yeah, you get the idea. You're measuring it. Now, categorical data can also be broken down into two groups. It can be nominal or ordinal. Nominal, actually might be easier if I explain ordinal first. Ordinal is when the groups have a logical sequence. So if you think about drink sizes, you can have a small drink, a medium drink, or a large drink. So you can order them according to which one holds the most volume. Now, I'd like to make a special note about clothing size or shoe size. It's often measured in numbers, like you wear a size 7 shoe, you wear a size 8 shoe, you wear a size 9 shoe. But what you need to realize that even though we assign it a number, it truly is a category, because your foot could be, a different size even though it fits into that shoe. But once you get your foot gets a little too long or a little too wide, you have to go up to the next category or the next shoe size. Likewise with your clothing. You know, you might be a size 8, but if you grow a little taller or put on a little weight, whatever, you'll go up to the next size, you'll go up into the next category. So it's not, when you're dealing with shoe size and clothing size, it's not truly numerical, it's actually ordinal categorical data. And finally, in the middle here, your nominal categorical data is when the groups have no logical sequence. So it might be gender, it might be favorite food, it might be favorite color. There's no logical sequence to ordering the groups, so it's just called nominal. All right. Okay, so that should be enough to get you through this first exercise. We'll probably allow 2 periods to do this one. As per usual, I am near my computer should you need help. Good luck, guys.